Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Rick Bell.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant. It is Wednesday, midweek, 2 minutes past the top of the hour, October the 7th. Georgia week. Ben McKee with his orange on, Jason Swain here, live from the Low T Center Studios. Hour 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Hope you're having a great morning. And we are so glad that you are joining us this morning. Man, it just feels good that it's football season. Just feels good, man. There's a lot of sports going on. Major League Baseball playoffs. You got NBA Finals going on. SEC schedule. I mean, you just can't go wrong right now. A lot of sports. It worked out for us. Again, hope you're having a great morning, and thank you for joining the Swain event. You can give us a call on our telephone line at 865-200-5503. That is the number to the Iris Networks hotline, where business owners, 90 days, no payment for business internet, and you get reliable, high quality fiber and voice. Ben, man, good morning, man. Nice. That's old school right there, man. That's Adidas.
Yes. I think most Tennessee fans have some Adidas in their wardrobe, unless they have just completely gotten rid of it, which I guess also makes sense. I imagine there are quite a few Tennessee fans who have cleaned out their Adidas in their closet, so I had to break out the old Adidas sweatshirt. I like how it has the big power T on the front.
Yeah, man. Old school Adidas. I'm not getting rid of my Adidas gear, man. I still got mine from playing days, actually.
I still have my Butch Please shirt, so I'm definitely not getting rid of my old gear. Yeah. Unless it doesn't fit, it's staying in the closet.
Man, that's a nice, work around the house shirt. Yeah, I mean, no reason to get rid of that, right?
I still have a Donnie Knoxville shirt from Alumni Hall.
Golly, man.
Shout out to Donnie Tyndall this morning.
I know, right? Donnie Knoxville. There's no reason to get rid of your Adidas gear. No reason at all. I mean, I understand. I mean, Tennessee is Nike, and Nike has been better in some of their releases. But listen, orange is orange. I don't care if it's starter. I don't care. Well, I ain't gonna go that far. I was gonna say I don't care if it came from the big box store, but we know that orange is not the same. Orange is a little dark. It's a dark orange at the big box store. So as long as it's the right orange, who cares, man? Adidas, Puma, Russell Athletic, whatever. Just rock that power tee.
That's right.
Just rock it. I got orange on today. I got my VFL shirt on. My VFL Tennessee Letterman shirt on.
Big Orange Wednesday of Georgia Hate Week. The hate gets stronger and stronger and stronger as kickoff approaches.
I want to know how guys are going to recover after this football game, because they are going to be sore.
They better do it quick.
Woo! they're going to be sore. It's going to be some walkthroughs next week.
You think Tennessee will get an extra day off? Tennessee has been coming back and practicing on Sunday and then taking Monday off and then truly preparing for the week's opponent on Wednesday and Thursday. Don't know what Tennessee is doing on Fridays. I don't know if they're doing a walkthrough of sorts to get the juices flowing a little bit, maybe work up a light sweat. Was that a Butch Jones thing on Fridays where he would do a
everybody does that.
Okay.
It's a walkthrough.
But I remember
because you're traveling.
I'm aware of what a walkthrough is, but I know not Pruitt, but I think it was Butch. He went out of his way to talk about his intensified walkthrough on a Friday and deemed it a practice when, like you just said, it's a walkthrough. It was a thing under Butch because, of course, Butch Jones made everything a thing.
Oh, walkthroughs are intense now. Don't get it twisted. Don't get walkthrough confused with you just walking in the park over there at North Shore and it's a beautiful day like it has been last couple of days. You just walking and no, it's still intense. It's just you're not running full speed, but it's very intense. It's actually I would say probably more intense than the rest of the week of practice, to be honest, because like it's super quiet. It's not a lot of rah-rah. And like you mess up your assignment during the walkthrough, like everybody sees it and it's quiet. it's not a good look. Or like, let's say they call out hands team or they call out punt team. And this is the time when you are just making sure that you transitioning from offense to defense, sudden change, punt return, kickoff return. Let's say defense scores a touchdown. Let's say you are on field goal team and defense has the ball. Well, you chilling, right? Because more times than not, you're not going to be on the field for a field goal or extra point because defense has the ball. But Henry To'o goes to score. You got to be up and going. You got to be up, alert, getting your butt out there. Here's the kicker. Let's say starting guard goes down. Well, starting guard goes down. Special teams coach has a depth chart of who is the second team guard on field goal team or extra point team. The medical staff communicates that with the coach. So, hey, he's out, or he's out this play, or he's out this series, or whatever. And now you have to communicate that with the second team guy. So in walkthroughs, we can be like, Ben McKee is down. So you got to know automatically, oh, I'm Ben McKee's backup. So when they say Ben McKee down, you have to be ready to jump in. Mm-hmm. So they really, really test, everyone's awareness and things like that during walkthrough and mess up and don't be paying attention.
The day before the game.
Or don't know that you're supposed to go out there. Ooh, man, you get talked so bad too.
I bet. As they should.
Man, you get talked so bad too,
it's like
man.
failing the test.
Man.
The
in front of everybody.
The test.
In front of everybody. So, like, don't let the word walkthrough let y'all think that it's just relaxed. Nah, man. It's intense because everyone's quiet. You mess up, everyone sees it, and everyone's looking at you like,
why?
Is Ben ready to play? Where's Ben's head this afternoon?
Not in the right place.
Yeah, man. So there were some times when we work up a little sweat during walkthroughs, but
I just remember Butch Jones like making it a huge ordeal. Like I realize walkthroughs are very important. It is a huge deal, but you don't hear coaches talking about it to the media. And Butch had like a nickname for it, I think, on Friday.
Yeah. Now he would change. Like his thing was, and I don't want to. This is Tennessee, Georgia, between two good head coaches. I would rather not discuss a unemployed head coach. But his thing that was always funny was he would turn something that's pretty standard, like a standard football term, and try to like change it to make it sound like cool.
Yep.
And it's like the passing game, the throw game, bro. It's the passing game, man. It's been the passing game for the last 200 years in football. But he would take a synonym and be like, it's the throw game. Oh, I just changed it. I just changed the name. I just changed the game. I just reinvented something, bro. It's like, stop. That was the thing that was always funny to me, man.
No, for sure. I wonder if Pruitt will readjust practice schedule next week. Not cancel a practice.
Nah, man.
To compensate. Not take a day off to compensate for the physicality of this weekend's game, but instead of coming back on a Sunday and getting a light workout in on the practice field, I wonder if they take Sunday off, give the guys an extra day to maybe rest up, and then instead of taking Monday off like they have been, going to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I imagine a walkthrough on Friday rather than work Sunday the day after the game, take Monday off, and then work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I don't think they change what day you have off. I just think you just change the volume of what you do in practice, or you change the volume of what you do in the weight room, because athletes are a creature of habit, and you don't want to get off schedule because every game is going to be physical. Let's just get that clear. You're playing in the SEC, so this is just going to be a different type of physical game because of the style of play that Georgia plays with. So I anticipate guys to be more sore than they were in South Carolina game, more sore than they were in the Mizzou game, because there's going to be some pals. Okay, there's going to be some pals in the line of scrimmage, and so. That's just what I'm anticipating, and man, it's gonna be fun to watch, man, for football fans. I mean, you get a very talented offensive line in Tennessee against a Georgia front that is really good, a Georgia defense that's really good, and it's best versus best. And then you have a Georgia offensive line versus a Tennessee defensive line that it's not an even matchup like a Tennessee offensive line versus the defensive line of Georgia, or close to an even matchup, but we're gonna know a lot about the pride of our defensive line and the guys up front, and what kind of fight they have, and are they able to take a challenge? Do they allow their games to elevate because the competition is a lot better, or do they crumble? I mean, we're gonna see that this Saturday. What did you say about Jeremy Pruitt? What you call Coach Pruitt? You just call him Jeremy Pruitt, Coach Pruitt.
When, like, all the time?
Yeah, just earlier you mentioned Pruitt. I think we need to refer to him as best defensive in-game coach in the country. Jeremy Pruitt.
I like that.
Best in-game defensive coach in the country.
Mr. Best in-game defensive mind in college football.
Best in-game defensive mind. So, Big DM, Jeremy Pruitt. Best in-game defensive mind, Jeremy Pruitt. The Big DM.
I think it's time to go to break on that note.
The Big DM, baby. Best in-game defensive mind, according to Cole Kublik. Yo, that should be on a recruiting graphic to every defensive recruit that you have either committed or that you are pursuing. You have someone as credible as Cole Kublik say that about your coach. Oh, yeah, you got to let everybody know that. You got to let everybody know what Cole Kublik said, man. That is a ringing endorsement. 865-255-03. Iris Networks hotline. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. We'll take our first time out of the day. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com. Voted Best Barbecue in City View Magazine and a top 100 barbecue restaurant in the country, Dead End is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering and local delivery with Valet Gourmet. That's right, you can have Dead End brought to you. Can't think of the spread for your next event? Get Dead End to cater it. Check them out online, deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Looking for those in-game defensive adjustments from the defensive staff. The in-game battle is going to be something to watch. You have two staffs that, between the two, what was the total? Probably about between $10 to $12 million. Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee is paying, $6 million for their staff, I want to say.
A lot of money.
Yeah, I want to say that, but you got two coordinators, and that's what 2.5 right there. And so I think Tennessee's entire staff is around $5 or $6 million, and then you go look at Georgia and you assume that their staff is somewhere around there. So combined staffs $10 to $12 million in that ballpark. You better believe that there's going to be some chess moves being played and some in-the-game adjustments. I'm looking forward to seeing, okay, who's going to come out and be aggressive? And if it works, how will other team counter? I think Cole Kubick I think he made it really simple. Who's going to blink? Who's going to make the mistake? Which quarterback's going to make the mistake?
I completely agree. I don't know that it's just going to be completely even in the trenches. Tennessee is really going to have to prove itself in the running game this weekend. I have confidence, but also because I know what Georgia has, I have some doubt that Tennessee can run the ball as well, just because that offensive line unit was hampered by contact tracing throughout fall camp. I do believe that they will have success, relative success, this weekend against Georgia's run defense. But this this is going to be the toughest test that Tennessee will face all season long in the running game. Yes, even more so than Alabama, because Georgia, I mean, they are just ridiculously deep along the defensive line and at linebacker. At outside linebacker, they have 5, 6, 7 guys that can rotate in and out, and there's no drop-off. Same thing at inside linebacker. They go 2, 3 deep at each inside linebacker spot. Defensive line, they have 10 to 12 guys that can just rotate in and out, and there's no drop-off. Alabama's starters are on the level of Georgia's starters, but right now Georgia's deeper on the front seven on defense than Alabama is. So this will be the toughest test for Tennessee's rushing attack all season long, and they're really going to have to have some success to take pressure off of JG, but JG is also going to have to make throws because Tennessee's not going to be able to have success in the running game from start to finish. There are going to be times in which JG has to make a play himself along with the receivers. Can the passing game go out there and make a play when they need to? Because you have to strike a balance. As much as you would love to run the football a million times, and as much success as you may find on the ground, you have to find a balance. So at some point, JG is going to have to go make a play himself, and same for these receivers, Ramel Keaton, Josh Palmer, Jalen Hyatt, Velus Jones, Brandon Johnson, whoever's number is called, you got to go make a play to take some pressure off of this rushing attack.
The longest rush for Auburn was 10 yards, and that was from Bo Nix. As I'm looking at Arkansas's rushing and Auburn's rushing totals, let's say it's combined for less than 110 yards. And so you're not going to be able to run the football like you did against Mizzou, but here's a kicker. You have to commit to the run. You have to run. Mm-hmm. You may not be successful as you want to be, but you got to take a 2 or 3 yard gain. You have to run the football because linebackers and safeties, they are bred to tackle, and they don't care if you're having success or not. They're coming to the party. I don't care if you have 1.7 yards per rush or 2.4 yards per rush. You run the football, they're coming to the party. So you still have to commit to running the football. Even if you know that you're going to pass it, you still have to run to set up the pass. That is the kicker for Jim Chaney. We understand that he likes to throw the football. I like Jim Chaney liking to throw the football. I get a big kick out of that. But when something's not successful, it's human nature to not to do it, right? Mm-hmm. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. But you have to run the football if you're going to be successful throwing the football. Because if they know you're going to throw it, they'll just drop 7 in the coverage, 8 in the coverage, and it's hard to throw against 7 in coverage. It's hard. It's hard. It really is. And so how much will we commit to running the football, even though you're not getting 4 yards per carry? Now, if you do that, that's awesome. That's great. You just keep doing what works. But you can't abandon the run if it's not successful early. Football games are not supposed to come down to something as simple as, all right, who's going to make the mistake of quarterback? But that's a very, very, very valid key to this football game.
I think it is the key.
It really is.
Because we should expect for Tennessee to have relative success rushing the football. When I say relative success, expectations are different running the football against Georgia than they are running the football against Missouri. You mentioned 2 to 3 yards. That's like a 4 to 5 yard gain against Missouri.
Maybe.
Because if you run the football on first and second down, and we'll say you pick up 3 yards on first down, 3 yards on second down, you're looking at 3rd and 4. You'll take 3rd and 4 against this defense all day long.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 or less is good, man.
Yes, absolutely. So Jared Garantano is absolutely the X factor. Again, he's going to have to go out there and make plays. And listening to a college football podcast that ESPN puts out, Kirk Herbstreit and David Pollack were on the podcast, and they were discussing the Tennessee-Georgia game. And Herbstreit,
what did Herbstreit say? That
JG's the X factor, and Pollack echoed those sentiments.
What did Herbstreit say?
I see what you did there. David Pollack had some nice things to say about Tennessee. He talked about Eric Gray being a dude. I mean, really, really good. That is what Pollack said. But
Herbstreit say anything good too?
Yeah, they all complimented Tennessee, and I mean said things that we all know are true. Kirk Herbstreit said that with Tennessee, I don't want to sit here and say that Garantano is all of a sudden arrived and he's ready to be the 5-star prospect that he arrived on campus as. I see a lot of people wanted to see him in the kind of all-conference quarterback 3 years ago, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And I think he pressed, he struggled, he tried to live up to the hype. He was immature in some ways, and I think he's really been humbled. So he's a guy I pull for because he didn't quit, he didn't go away. He kind of kept fighting, and at least he's got his team now to 2-0. They're going to have their hands full, obviously, Saturday against this Georgia team. But if you're a Tennessee fan and looking at the way the 19 season ended, where they won 7 of 8, and look at the way the season has started, where they've won a couple of games, you look back from where this program's been, that's huge steps in the right direction. I don't know if we're going to jump up and down and say they've got what it takes to win Saturday, but I like the fact that they're playing with more confidence than they've played with, and I think they get better, or they got better skills, and they're good at offensive line. It's just with that Georgia defense Saturday, you wonder if Garantano reverts back to making poor decisions, puts the ball in coverage, because they'll need a balanced attack to have a chance against Georgia.
Yeah. Let me just throw out a disclaimer while I have everyone's attention.
PSA.
I just need to say this right now. The hype train will gain some steam depending on how Tennessee plays against Georgia, right? We understand that. Let's say Tennessee wins this football game. Don't call or text talking about Tennessee is back. Don't do it. Control your emotions. Don't do it, Ben. I know you're going to want to give the people what they want.
Nope. Well, I'm not going to do that because we've talked over the summer what being back means. And my definition of Tennessee being back is Tennessee being back in Atlanta.
Okay,
So you won't hear that from me.
Don't. If Tennessee wins, don't stumble and fall to a knee.
Would it be safe to say that I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
So late, man.
Well, I was in deep thought about my thought. Now, it would be fair to say that Tennessee is back competing to go to Atlanta, but you can't just flat out say Tennessee is back. You have to go into a little more detail, in my opinion.
If Tennessee wins, don't stumble and go to a knee. You might stumble, but hold your balance. Stay up.
Don't pull a Butch Jones after the Georgia Hail Mary.
Do not get on social media. Do not call in any shows. Definitely don't call this show and say that Tennessee is back. We're going to hang up on you. We have expectations. We have a goal. We have vision. You can't allow that vision to get cloudy because of something close to your face. You can't allow your vision to be cloudy because of a short-term result. Being back is a long-term process. It's not a trip around the corner. It's a road trip, okay? Don't allow yourself to say that we're back. Remember the last time Tennessee beat Georgia?
Yep.
And there was this feeling of being back. When was that? 2016?
Mm-hmm.
But remember, like, that feeling was good, right? That was Hail Mary. You had your adrenaline pumping. But the 2015 game at home, I saw some fans, like, dropping some tears leaving the stadium. And that was the first time in a while that you beat Georgia. And I'm pretty sure there was this feeling of being back in 2015 after beating Georgia. But that was after losing some games before that you shouldn't have lost, like Oklahoma and Florida. Bless you.
Thank you.
Don't do it. Don't say we're back if we win this football game. If you see someone else doing it, that means they don't listen to a Swain event, and they need to do something with their lives because they're definitely going in the wrong direction. Do not do it. Hold your balance. Stay on your feet. Be happy for the win. Look at it as a huge step, like a gigantic step in the right direction, but not back. Because the position that Tennessee was and that you want Tennessee to be in right now, the reason why you are the fan that you are, is not just beating one team. It is competing for conference championships. Now, this will be a big step in doing that, but please, saying we're back after one win is like celebrating after beating Vanderbilt or trash talking. Like, come on, don't do that.
Tennessee's supposed to do this.
Don't do that, please. You're kind of invalidating Tennessee's rich tradition and greatness. It's kind of like storming the field after beating a 10th ranked team. It's like, yo, we don't do that because we're used to beating teams that are ranked. Remember how Vanderbilt acted when they beat us in 2005? They made a DVD about it.
And in 2012, 13, right?
I mean, they celebrated it so much. Why? Because historically their program sucks. Simple as that. So when you get victories like that, you have to cherish it because it's not going to come around a lot. So we take the win. We'll be happy. It's a huge step. You talk your trash now. You please talk your trash. Do not let us stop you from doing that. You find a Georgia fan and you talk your trash if Tennessee wins.
You go out of your way to find a Georgia fan
Yes.
and talk your trash.
Yes. Talk your trash.
In fact, I think we should all come up with a Georgia fan in our head that we know and prepare to talk trash to them for when Tennessee beats Georgia on Saturday.
But there's this one word you don't use. Don't say back. Don't say we're back. You can cuss the Georgia fan out. You can talk about Georgia fan's mama. I mean, you can hit lows all you want to. Don't say we're back. Those words are forbidden. All right.
What about when Tennessee extends their winning streak to 11, which means they just beat Georgia, Kentucky, and Alabama all in a row? They're sitting 5-0 on the 2020 season and are in the driver's seat to make it to Atlanta.
Don't say you're back.
Not till we get there.
A trip to Atlanta is when Tennessee is back.
I know. I'm just picking. Real quick before we get to around the SEC, I did want to share Pollock's comments, if that's okay, because I thought they were very pointed. Herb Street's were kind of general. Pollock's were more Tennessee, Georgia game specific.
Oh, no, Ben.
Hey, he complimented Eric Gray.
I don't know, man. I was watching College Game Day, and the whole panel, when picking Tennessee, Mizzou, it's like, oh, yeah, Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee. Oh, come on, this is easy, right? Tennessee. This is
Pollock picked Mizzou.
Pollock picked Mizzou.
Oh my gosh.
And Herstreet was like, "Yeah, I'll be texting you during the game about your pick." I was just staring at the TV like, did Pollock really pick Mizzou? Did you see these dudes play last week?
Pollock hates Tennessee. There's no bones about it.
I don't know how he feels right now because of the role that he's in, and Pollock does a great job. Don't get me wrong, he does a great job. But I'll never forget my official visit, and I'll never forget being in his apartment, him and David Green's apartment, and I playing video games, and I didn't have a chance, man. I didn't have a chance. I actually go to class. I was in high school. I actually go to class, so I don't have time to practice like college students at that time. And it's clear that he didn't go to class. All he did was play video games because he was good. He was really good. All he do is play cover zero, blitz every time. And I had no answer. And I remember what he said now. Because they caught wind and I took my official visit to Tennessee a week before and I liked it. And I was on the verge of, possibly going there. And boy, I had never heard someone talk so bad about Tennessee than when I was on my official visit and I was talking to David Pollock. Oh, he despised Tennessee at that point.
I'm
now,
sure he still does.
I don't know, man. I don't know how he feels right now.
I don't think that the hate ever leaves your heart. I wonder what David Pollock went against Tennessee during his playing career.
He was successful. I don't think you want to do that.
I don't. Okay.
He did lose in He did lose in 04 when they were ranked high. We were underdogs, and he did nothing. That's when he was. I think he was a senior that year, and went to the Bengals, and he was like prolific in his career at Georgia. But everyone knew who he was a senior year. But against Tennessee, Albert Tweener put them hands on him. He did nothing against Tennessee that game. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to hear Pollock's comments, man. I don't know. If
you also don't want to hear his record against Tennessee.
I told you. I don't even know why you went to go look it up. I tried to save you.
An unranked Georgia team beat number 6 Tennessee in 01.
Georgia didn't stop Tennessee from being able to play for a national championship. But, yeah. And Mark Richt explained that play, too. The hobnail boot play. He explained it at the quarterback club. Anyways, go ahead, Ben.
Well, I don't have to share that. I don't want you in your feelings this morning.
Not my feelings. No, I'm good, man. I want you to share what David Pollock said. Let's see what he said.
He said, so I think the playmaking ability, the quarterback spot, do I trust him enough? Can he make enough plays on the road against a Georgia defense? That's where I think if Tennessee was better at that spot, I think you could say, hey, this team could compete for the SEC East, could beat Florida or Georgia or maybe be in the mix. But I don't know if they're good enough chemistry-wise yet with quarterback wide receiver to consistently drop back to pass and beat you because Kirk just told you you ain't going to line up and pound Georgia. There's too many defensive linemen that they can rotate in and out that look the same, for God's sake. And next freak, you over there, go in. They've just got so much strength and size and athleticism up front that it'd be hard to wear them down consistently with just the running game. You're going to have balance. That is his synopsis on the Tennessee-Georgia game this weekend.
That's pretty good, actually. That's my answer. I agree.
Hey, I only want to share good things here on the show.
I agree.
I think Jarrett Garantano is improved from last season. I think Jarrett Garantano is more than capable of leading Tennessee to wins over South Carolina, Missouri, Kentucky, this year Auburn, this year A&M. Those type of teams, those tier 2, tier 3 teams in the SEC, JG is more than capable of leading you to wins. You can win with JG at quarterback against those tier 2, tier 3 SEC teams. But can you beat the tier 1, the elite SEC football teams in Georgia, Florida, and Alabama? That question remains.
It might be me here. I'm a little uncomfortable with all the praise that Tennessee's getting after being 2-0.
Because we're not used to it.
I'm a little uncomfortable, man. I'm a little uncomfortable. You know when someone is being like extra nice to you out of nowhere,
Buttering you up.
they want something. They want something. They setting you up for the okie doke. They setting you up to fail. I don't know if I like some of this because I think it's over the top.
I don't know.
Man, it's good to be 2-0 now. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, I guess which part do you think is over the top?
there's been a lot of praise in different directions. I just like being the underdog. I just like being disrespected. I just like that. I don't want folks calling us Rocky Flop or anything, but I want people to be like, you know what? I don't know about Tennessee. They're not terrible, but I don't believe in them just yet. That's the position I kind of want to be in. So that way, each and every week, we got to prove you wrong. I don't know how comfortable I am when people are like, yeah, man, Tennessee looks like they're getting back, or they're back, and man, Tennessee, 4th best odds to win the SEC. Jared Garantano, 14th best odds to win the Heisman. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that right now. I need that edge. I want that edge. That's just me.
Vegas always knows.
I'm a little uncomfortable, man. I got lemon booty this morning. I got a little lemon booty this morning, man. 865-255-03. Around the SEC coming up next.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
Around the SEC is brought to you by 42nd Street, 42sd.com, handling your website design needs, logo design needs, and print design. Ben McKee, give us what you got on the Wednesday for Around the SEC.
A couple news and notes to talk about. Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz announced yesterday that Connor Bazelak will start at quarterback against LSU. I think every Tennessee fan out there has that same reaction, like, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? So Connor Bazelak making his first career start against LSU on Saturday. And speaking of LSU, Missouri, because of Hurricane Delta, that is expected to make landfall, Thursday, Friday, late Friday. It has moved LSU, Missouri, from Baton Rouge to Columbia. So instead of being played at LSU, that football game will be played in Missouri now because of the expected impact from Hurricane Delta. And that game will be kicked off at 11 a.m. So Hurricane moving LSU, Missouri to Columbia when it was originally scheduled to be played in Baton Rouge. Georgia's starting tight end, who has not played yet this season, he did not travel to Arkansas, suited up against Auburn, but didn't play. Florida State graduate transfer Trey McKitty. He's been dealing with a knee injury that he suffered during the second scrimmage of fall practice and has been out about a month now, a little over a month actually. He is hopeful this week, according to Kirby Smart. Kirby said that he practiced on Tuesday and did a good job. So Georgia could be getting its starting tight end back in the fold in Florida State transfer Trey McKitty, grad transfer that is. We did have two players hit the transfer portal on Tuesday afternoon. The first one was Auburn running back Harold Joyner. He's a Birmingham native, had 3 touchdowns through 2 years with Auburn. He had yet to appear on Auburn's depth chart at running back and was viewed as the team's 5th option at the position. So he is in the transfer portal. And then Missouri freshman defensive lineman Montre Edwards is in the transfer portal as well. So 2 players entering the transfer portal on Tuesday, one from Auburn, one from Missouri.
I don't know how these guys do it, but you got to do what's best for your future, I guess. Why not wait until the end of the year, this year? But whatever. What do I know? I mean, if you're doing it for COVID reasons, I understand. You know, if you don't feel safe, I get it. That's cool. I respect that. But if you're doing it because of playing time, it's like, so you're not gonna practice? You're not gonna do anything? How's that help you get better?
It doesn't.
So you gonna just sit down? You gonna just sit down? Or well, I guess train by yourself? How's that helping you be a better player? I don't understand that. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. Makes absolutely no sense to me. You want to transfer? I get it. I understand. Playing is the reason why you went to that school, right? You want to play, and if you're not playing, you want to go somewhere where you can play. Respect that, understand it. I'm on board with that. But shouldn't you just work on your game? Practice, work on your game. Still have it in your mind, you're going to transfer, which it may be tough unless you're mature, knowing that you're going to leave, knowing that this is not the place for you long term. Are you able to go out there and still work hard and put your heart into it? A mature football player will understand, all right, my long-term success depends on how I improve each and every day. It doesn't really matter what jersey color I'm wearing right now. I just want to improve my skills. But I'm definitely going to move on after the season. I just don't see how not doing anything is going to help. That's just me. That's just me. All right, let's go to the phones this morning. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. And who we got there?
David in Louisville.
David in Louisville. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Nothing, man. Swain, I can't agree with you more about nobody calling the show, all of that. And just want to make a point. Swain, I know you grew up in some rough areas, and the point I'm trying to make is, you know, from my 33 years, what I've seen just in life is, you know, real people, real G's, real people, they move in silence. The people that are on a mission and know what they're doing and have control of themselves, they move in silence. They do what they want. They don't do what they can. And so I agree 1,000,000% with you. Put earplugs in all these players' ears and go out there, get off that bus, and go in there to Athens and do what you got to do. That's it. And when the game's over, all it means is we're 3-0 and we're on to the next one. I can't agree with you more, Swain. That whole hype train thing, I'm not even going to say it. You told me not to say it, I ain't going to say it because I agree with you. When we show up in Atlanta, then we can start talking.
Listen,
you agree with me?
No, the hype train and saying we're back, I think they're two different things. It's okay to be on the hype train after you beat Georgia, okay? I'm cool with that because a hype train is just, I think that's short term. That's just for this year. Trying to say that we're back is an insult to the guys that played in the early and late 90s and early 2000s because that's where Tennessee was at its best. Saying that Tennessee is back without a trip to Atlanta is a slap in the face to those guys, is how I look at it. But the hype train, hey, man, you know, be a 9-game winning streak against a top 5 opponent. Listen, you better be happy. You better be excited. You better be pumped up. You better talk your mess. That's cool. I'm just saying don't cross the line saying that we're back because you can win the game and still not go to Atlanta. That ain't back.
I mean, Swain, when you were there, I did not care who was on the schedule and who y'all played next. We were either going somewhere on the road and whooping somebody's butt, or we were staying at home and somebody was taking that L at Neyland Stadium, period. And if we, I mean, I can't remember the last time it's been like that. And I want to get on to one more thing. I'm not on social media. I don't do all that stuff. But I saw a little clip. Somebody did a little cut-up of a Butch Jones pregame with the whole "you got my back" thing.
Stop.
And then,
stop, man. Stop.
Dude, and then they play Pruitt, and I'm just like, oh my God,
bro,
what were we doing?
Where is that? I need to find that.
I don't know. Like, I just get on a message board, and somebody had right back to back the "you got my back," and these players are like looking at this dude like a clown, and he's like 5'6", wearing a size 6 kids shoe, walking around all stupid, and Pruitt's in there. I mean, getting these dudes ready to run through a brick wall, and you could just see it. Like, I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere on Twitter or something. Somebody like posted it to a message board where I like try to get snippets.
Where is
Two
that?
more things, man, or one more thing. I'll let y'all go. Can you be like completely real with me on how Darnell Washington thought Georgia was the place for him. Like, be real with me. As real as you can. Because that one catch in 2 games, like, come on, man. Has he even gone out on a route more than twice?
Yeah, he has.
Are you just gonna move on because you don't want to talk about it?
I mean, hey, Atlanta is a nice city. It's probably why he decided to go there. That's probably
Come on, Swain.
That's probably the only reason, man.
Swain. So you're saying he looked at let's see, who'd you say was our tight end? Princeton fan, and it was like Jim Chaney and the tight ends at 10. It doesn't. I don't know. But I just don't think that kid made the right decision.
Listen, man.
You agree with me?
He wanted to be able to go around the corner and go to the varsity.
Man.
That's what they were
And then the
saying.
last thing I'll get off here, Swain. So, listen. When's the last time that we've been able to get off the bus, on the road, look at a team, not worry about, pregame, like pregame. I remember Georgia coming in a few years ago. That 42-0 game. We looked like a peewee team warming up.
41-0
compared to the dudes ahead.
41-0, and Peyton Manning was watching, which makes it even worse. What makes it even worse, David? We got top of the hour break here. 41-0 at home. Peyton Manning is watching. That's like acting up in school when your parents are sitting in the classroom. That's how disrespectful you are. It's one thing to act up when your parents not there, but when your parents are sitting right there in the same room and you say, I don't care, and you still act up, yo, that's disrespectful. That's what Georgia did. And that's what we did. You play like that in front of Peyton? On Peyton's day? Yo. That's not gonna cut it. But Tennessee can get off the bus and physically say, yeah, we belong here. Let's go. Now, depth is certainly on Georgia's side, but you can only play 11 on offense, 11 on defense, 11 on special teams. Hour 2 coming up. While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
Voted Best Barbecue in City View Magazine and a top 100 barbecue restaurant in the country, Dead End is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering and local delivery with Valet Gourmet. That's right, you can have Dead End brought to you. Can't think of the spread for your next event? Get Dead End to cater it. Check them out online, deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Nice boat. Yeah, thanks. And thanks to Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. See, they want to put me at ease when getting my loan with them. Whether that's purchasing a new or used auto, this boat, camper, or even a motorcycle. Let Alcoa 10 help you on your customer journey. Plus, for a limited time, get 90 days till your first payment and an online-only special low rate of 2.44%.
2.44%? Wow.
Right? Go to atfcu.com for details. Equal housing lender. Alcoa 10. It's a win-win.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown and turnover, back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong, better rates and better service. What a week. What a week for SEC football. What a year for SEC football. Every week, there's great matchups, man. Florida, Texas A&M. A&M is going to be the underdog there for sure. Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee's underdog there. Ole Miss, Alabama. Ole Miss is the underdog in that football game. Mississippi State, Kentucky, man. Who is the underdog in this game?
Probably Kentucky. It's a road game for them, I think. Right?
That's a home game.
Kroger Field, so intimidating.
That's. I gotta go find the lines on that one, man. It opened at Kentucky 3. Yeah, Kentucky 3. You got Mizzou at LSU, but we know that can change. LSU was favorite opening at 18. Let me ask you this, Ben. Touchdown or turnover, we will see an upset in the SEC week 3. We will see an upset week 3 in the SEC. Touchdown or turnover.
Touchdown. The Vols are going to kill Georgia. I'm just kidding. Speak it into existence. Speak it into existence. Let's see. I don't think Texas A&M is going to beat Florida.
You can exclude Tennessee, Georgia. You can wait until Friday to see how you feel, because I know you may not feel confident right now about Tennessee's chances, but Friday afternoon, Friday morning, it may be a different story. It may be a different story, man. So we'll exclude the Tennessee, Georgia matchup. Okay. So Florida, Texas A&M, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Auburn. Auburn is open at 18 for Auburn, and then Alabama at Ole Miss. We know who the underdog is in that game. Mississippi State at Kentucky. Kentucky's 3-point favorite to open that. And then Mizzou, LSU, we know who is the underdog in that one. So those 6 matchups, will there be an upset, Ben? Touchdown or turnover?
I don't see A&M beating Florida. Don't see Vanderbilt beating Carolina.
Who?
Vanderbilt. They'll be 0-3. If Vanderbilt does beat Carolina, do you think Will Muschamp is fired on the spot?
No, but I think South Carolina people's gonna call Florida State again. Remember that conversation we had when we called y'all to ask y'all how you fired coach after 2 years and how you deal with the buyout? You know, we want to revisit that conversation. What exactly did you say about doing that again? How you do that?
I don't see Arkansas beating Auburn, but man, that Arkansas team plays for Sam Pittman, and I think Arkansas's defense could give Auburn's offensive line some problems. Auburn is 14-point favorites. I will pick Auburn to win, but I think Arkansas will cover, and I think it'll be a close game in the second half. Don't expect Ole Miss to beat Alabama, though I am somewhat excited to see Ole Miss's offense go up against Alabama's defense. LSU not going to lose to Missouri. That would surprise me if they did. I don't know what to think about Mississippi State, Kentucky.
You know what's about to happen? It's about to be bombs over Baghdad over there, man.
Yeah, but we thought that last week against Arkansas, and it was dud bombs over Baghdad.
Did Kentucky? Let me back up. Other than Mac Jones, who had the most prolific day in the SEC last Saturday?
Throwing the football?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Trask.
And who else? Matt Corral. You forgot about what Matt Corral did to – I know why you forgot. You still mad at Kentucky, huh?
No.
You trying to erase
forgive me for Matt Corral and Ole Miss not being on the forefront of my mind.
You just disrespecting Matt Corral.
No, I like Matt Corral.
Lit Kentucky up.
I was on the Matt Corral train before the season even started. Everybody talking about John Reese Plumlee this, John Reese Plumlee that. Matt Corral was going to be the starter. Matt Corral's the better quarterback. John Reese Plumlee may be the better athlete, but Matt Corral is the better quarterback, has the better arm, which is weird because John Reese Plumlee plays in the outfield for the baseball team, but whatever.
After losing to Arkansas, they beat LSU. Mike Leach and his staff got a rude awakening about the SEC, is that you have to bring it every single week.
Yes.
Just because you beat LSU and you might want to pump the brakes on making a bandwagon hype promo video.
Him not running the football killed him in that game too, because Arkansas was dropping 8 into coverage every single play. If you run the football, you're going to pick up 5 to 6 yards before you even come into contact with an Arkansas defender.
So you got a nice lesson on winning a game you're not supposed to, I guess, upsetting a giant in LSU, and then being humbled by Arkansas. How you think Mississippi State gonna play this week?
I don't know. That's why I hesitate.
I think it's gonna be bombs over Baghdad and Lexington, and I think Mississippi State will be the team who gets the upset outside of Tennessee, Georgia, because we're not picking that right now. And I'm saying touchdown. I think Mississippi State beats Kentucky and throws it all over the yard, baby, all over the yard. And guess what? It's gonna happen if Mississippi State gets up early. Ooh, Kentucky's gonna have to throw the football.
That ain't going to go well.
Terry Wilson has to throw the football.
Hey, you can't hate on Terry Wilson. He played well last week.
Yes, I can. They 0-2. I can hate on Terry Wilson.
Yeah, but that's hating on him for something other than what you said. He was very efficient throwing the football last week. Swain.
How long has he been a starter at Kentucky?
This is his second year.
And you picking out one game?
What?
You said last week.
I said he was efficient. I didn't say he was KJ Costello throwing for 600 yards.
What's the weakness of Kentucky's offense?
The receivers.
Oh, the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They have nobody outside of Josh Ali. Who Bryce Thompson will have in handcuffs next weekend at Neyland Stadium.
So the receivers are the weakness of Kentucky's offense.
The passing game with Terry Wilson and the receivers is the weakness of Kentucky's
I'm just saying.
Offense.
No,
you're absolutely right. But again, which Mississippi State team shows up? Because if the Mississippi State team that shows up against Arkansas, or that showed up against Arkansas, shows up against Kentucky, Kentucky will beat Mississippi State. But if the Mississippi State that showed up against LSU shows up against Kentucky, then Mississippi State will whoop Kentucky. I think Mississippi State will win, but I don't have a ton of confidence in it. I think we'll see more LSU weak Mississippi State than Arkansas weak Mississippi State, but that's why I hesitate. Kentucky beats the Mississippi State team that showed up this past weekend. They don't beat the Mississippi State team that played against LSU because, like you said, they're not going to be able to throw the ball and keep up with with KJ Costello in the air raid. They're just not built that way, which is why I thought last week that Ole Miss was a bad matchup. I think Mississippi State's a bad matchup because Kentucky's not built to keep up offensively with teams like that. They're just not. Kentucky's defense has also been surprisingly bad this year.
When are you going to forgive Kentucky?
Never.
Ben, you can't harbor all this bitterness.
Yes, I can. I already hated Kentucky to begin with, and then I extend an olive branch to them, and they just snap it in half and just make me look like an idiot. No, screw them.
Ben, part of your healing process, the first step is forgiveness.
No. I hope Matt Jones steps in dog poop this morning.
Matt Jones doesn't play, man.
But he is like Kentucky fan spiritual animal, so I hope he steps in dog poop.
Kentucky made you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I hope Terry Wilson steps in dog poop too. How do you drop the football without being hit? How are you an SEC starting quarterback and you just drop the football?
You mean like wet poo or dry poo?
Wet poo makes it harder to get off.
Just want to make sure, man.
And then AJ
upset.
Rose, I hope he steps in it too. And then I hope they both have to try and clean it off their shoes, and they get it on their finger, and then they accidentally smear a little bit on their face.
Why?
AJ Rose sitting there chunking up the deuces. What are you doing? Score the touchdown, and that wins you the football game.
You are really hurt, Ben.
I am. Made me look like I don't know what I'm talking about when they should be 2-0 right now. That's the worst part. I'd almost just rather them just like lose 42-0 to Auburn and then 56-0 to Mississippi State and me be completely wrong. But they should be 2-0 right now. That makes it even worse.
So, I ain't got no sense.
I'll say touchdown with you, though. I think Mississippi State will beat Kentucky. I don't trust Kentucky right now. They've beaten themselves 2 weeks in a row. I don't think that automatically just changes.
Two contrasting offensive philosophies, man. It's gonna be fun to watch, man. It's gonna be fun to watch. Let me share this with you, man. I got a DM. So during the break, I watched the video, or the two videos that Dave in Louisville referred to. The one video where I think it was at the Muse City Bowl, where the previous head coach was asking the team if they had his back. And in 2019, I tweeted underneath this video that was shared then. In 2017, I tweeted 2 years later, everybody got their back, huh? So I'm laughing now, just like I was laughing then, because it made no sense at all. You got my back. You got my back. You got my back. I got your back. Everybody got their back, huh? What? What does that mean? How's that gonna fire me up? But that Pruitt video, woo. Man, that Pruitt video, and this is my third or fourth time watching that video. Man, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to throw some hands. Woo, I'm ready to throw some hands, man. Goodness gracious. When your head coach can fire you up like that, that's a different animal. That's a different animal. Right there, man. Now, Coach Fulmer wasn't a hype guy. He was that wasn't him. But that right there, Coach Pruitt, former defensive coordinator, that's what you get when you have defensive coordinators as your head coach. I need to watch this again. I might pick Tennessee to win this weekend if I watch it too many times. I might break something up in here. Give me your phone, Ben.
You gonna buy me a new one?
Never mind. I'll just take this piece of paper and ball it up and throw it against the wall. That'll work. No damage. Don't have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot to replace anything. 865-255-03. We will talk to ESPN's Chris Lowe coming up next here on the Swain event. So make sure you lock it in. Make sure you go and share the show with somebody you care about, because CeeLo is in the house coming up next.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy. Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. And joining us now via the Iris Networks hotline, Chris Lowe, ESPN. His time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, TRSM. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. And trsportsmedicine.com. CeeLo, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Swain.
What's up, man?
It's good to talk to you. Good to talk to your trusty assistant, Ben, there. And I trust the Swain girls are all busy with school this morning. Either on campus or they're at the house.
Absolutely, man. They're getting it done. They're getting it done. CeeLo, man, if Tennessee beats Georgia this weekend, are you going to make an appearance on Twitter? You going to be back on Twitter celebrating with us?
You know what? I've gotten back on Twitter twice since I got off in May. I got back on twice to honor my dear friend who we lost, Edward Ishaw, back on Christmas Eve. One time was to the Football Writers Association named an award, one that was actually won by one of our own here in town, David Upman of The Athletic.
That's right.
They named the award after Edward. And this most recent time, Edward's alma mater, University of Florida, did a really cool thing where they placed a cutout of him in the stand.
Yep.
Where the band would sit. You know, Edward was in the band. He was on the drum line at Florida. And those were the 2 times that I got back on. But, yeah, maybe that would warrant it as the Vols come win down in Athens, GA. We'll just have to see. For the first time in a long time, honestly, they go there. And I know they won down there on the Hail Mary when Butch was here. And, of course, that was anybody's game. And they played some good games down there, some close games. But this is the first time before the game that I say, you know what? If they don't turn the ball over and play well, play their A game, then they've got a chance to win. It's no loss if you could say that going into the game against Georgia. You felt like Tennessee, if they played their best football, had a chance to win. But you know what? We should say that, because I was talking to our boy Austin Price the other day. And think about where you win. Where do you still win in this league up front? And maybe Tennessee is not as good as they will be or need to be up front defensively. I think they're much better. They're certainly well coached. But in the offensive line, you name me a kid on that offensive line, Jason, that couldn't have gone anywhere he wanted to in the country to play football.
I can't do it.
And that's what it's about, man. When Tennessee was at its best, it was the same way. And I still think that's where you win. So to go there with that type of offensive line and be able to run the football and to protect Garantano is huge, and they have the chance to do both of those things.
K. Mays being back is the boost that Tennessee needs to have a chance in this football game. I mean, when you play a team like Georgia, you don't want to have any weaknesses, and Tennessee's offensive line certainly added a strength with him. But the road wasn't easy at all, and it took a vote from presidents and ADs around the league to change a rule that, Greg Sankey was like, listen, y'all want to change the rule, okay, but the rule is the rule. And I said if I'm Georgia, I vote no. Obviously there was more people that said yes than no, but anything that you can offer about kind of that process, how it went down, what to expect moving forward, maybe how close was the vote? Was it a vote or two away from K not playing? Kind of take us through that process if you can.
Yeah, well, first of all, K. Mays makes a really good offensive line at Tennessee, an elite offensive line. And I tell you what else it does, Swain, is it makes it much more flexible and versatile, and that's going to be huge this season. In a 10-game SEC season, to have the ability to mix and match, move guys around. Certainly, Kate's very versatile, but he's not the only one on that offensive line who's versatile. I mean, you're going to have to do that. I mean, I know we're looking big picture here, but you get into game 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. I mean, how many times in an 8-game SEC league schedule do you have the same 5 starting in the offensive line at the same position? Rarely. So he really, I think, just sort of takes this line to another level in terms of talent and in terms of being versatile and flexible. But no, it was a close vote. I don't know if it was, 1 or 2, but there were several schools voting no. I think at least 5, I'm told. And it was the presidents and chancellors that voted, not the ADs.
Okay.
I think let's be honest, if there weren't a pandemic right now, if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, I don't think Cade would be eligible this year. I think that's ultimately, I think the presidents and chancellors decided that because of, all the heightened anxieties and just everything that everybody's going through, that this year, the 2 or 3 kids, of course, we're also talking about Joey Gatewood, who transferred from Auburn to Kentucky and was ruled eligible immediately. He falls into that same category as Cade, that they felt like that this was the right thing to do this year. Now, going forward, I think the SEC is going to wait and see what the NCAA does, and does the NCAA indeed give everybody a free one-time transfer? And will the SEC try to continue to hold on to its rule that if you transfer within conference, that you have to sit out a year? I don't know how all that would shake out. But this year, because of what we're going through, they decided it was the right thing to do. And, every situation is different. We talked about that. The 2 of us did last week. I
in general, I'm not in favor of kids being able to transfer within the conference, and then you having to play in the next year without having to sit out a year. Because I think what that does is it opens Pandora's box where every kid who's disgruntled, who's mad because he got moved to a different position, whose position coach leaves, or feels like he's not getting enough carries at running back, is just going to say, you know what, I'm going to go from Tennessee to South Carolina, or from South Carolina to Kentucky, or Alabama to wherever. The schools that rule would hurt, the schools that have the most talent. And if you're a Tennessee who looks at the glass half full, and the way Jeremy and his staff have recruited, well, Tennessee's going to have a fair amount of talent in the next couple of years. And maybe you see that hurt Tennessee as much as you do a school like Georgia or Alabama or LSU. But I think this year the presidents and chancellors, I think they did the right thing. And I talked to a couple ADs. In fact, I'll go ahead and say one of them, Philip Fulmer, who told me that he felt like Greg Sankey, the commissioner, I know Sankey's got some criticism, but did a good job of getting this to the presidents and chancellors and letting them vote. Greg was never going to just say, make a blanket decision, okay, this kid are eligible this season. If they were going to do it, then they were going to change the rule. And the president, he said the membership is the schools in the league, i.e. presidents and chancellors, because they vote on everything. They were going to vote to change the rule, and they did. I think the schools that voted against it are the schools you would expect. I think the schools with the most talent in Alabama and Georgia, maybe Florida, South Carolina, but I'd say I think ultimately, again, this year with everything that's going on and everything kids have faced, it was the right thing to do. And I'm glad for Cade. I'm glad for his family that he gets to come back home and play. And it's a good thing for Tennessee, because he's a terrific player. And he, as I said earlier, he makes a really good offensive line, an elite offensive line. But also I want to emphasize, Swain, there's two ways to look at this. If trying to get, let's take Bryce Thompson, really good player for Tennessee, valuable member of the secondary. Let's say, didn't he play some free safety in the first game?
Yeah, plays some safety. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but has been a cornerback, right? That's sort of been his position for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they moved him full time to free safety, and he says, "You know what? I'm a corner. I see myself as a corner. I think if I might have a chance to play at the next level, I'm a corner. My family lives in South Carolina. I want to get back closer to home. I want to go to South Carolina. I'm going to transfer to South Carolina, and I want to be eligible right away." But I don't think a lot of people in Tennessee would be jumping up and down about that.
Nope. I would block it like Mutombo.
I think if you look at things, and I tried to do this as my role at ESPN has drawn more to a national role, covering UT for all those years that I did, back when I used to cover great players and great people like Jason Swain. I probably looked at things more from the Tennessee perspective. But if you step 1,000 feet away and look at it, I understand that there was a rule in place for 30-plus years. It had been put in place by the SEC. That doesn't mean rules shouldn't change from time to time. But I think if you look at it from 1,000 feet away, it looks a little bit different. But I think bottom line, and I want to emphasize this, is this year, based on everything that's happened this year, I think the presidents and chancellors got it right.
Yeah, for sure. And Tennessee is kind of in the middle of the road, right? We're not like Vanderbilt or Arkansas in that position, but certainly we're not Alabama or Georgia right now. We're not up there, and so we're kind of in the middle.
But they might be in a couple.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like our view right now is yes, let's allow whoever to transfer whenever, because we're trying to get those players. We want those players to come here, but at some point, if Tennessee continues to recruit the way they're recruiting and they win games and continue to get better, you're going to have a team kind of like, you're going to have a team where at every position it's going to be like Tennessee's offensive line, where you may have a 5-star not starting. You may have a high-level 4-star who he's going to play next year, but he wants to play right now. That next year and the year after that, he's going to be the guy and he's the future, but he's not thinking about the future. He's thinking about right now, and he wants to play right now. And so he wants to leave. And so if
it'll become a whole different recruiting pool.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I look at the short term for Tennessee, and obviously short term says, hey, let's get this rule passed and let's get everybody here that we can. Don't matter if they're in conference or not. But long term, once we start having this talent across the board and superior depth and a strong talent pool, this rule is going to hurt us. It's going to hurt the teams who are at the top. So
I think in an ideal world, honestly, if the kid is doing all the right things and he's academically eligible, his grades are in order, he hasn't been in trouble, he hasn't been suspended, then I think there's got to be a way to work it out to where if there's a legitimate, and I say legitimate reason, which is why I think ultimately the NCAA will just say you get a free one-time transfer and quit being a moving target. That's what frustrates fans and coaches. That why does this kid get a waiver, and why does this kid not? That's the thing that has caused so much angst,
Mm-hmm.
But if he's eligible academically and he hasn't been suspended, I think there needs to be some caveats like that in there. Then yeah, he should probably get to go where he wants to go because coaches move and come and go all the time, right?
Absolutely.
And they're paid a lot of money. Why do you keep a kid from doing that? And there are already some exceptions in place that overrode the SEC rule. If you were a graduate and you were a postgraduate transfer, you could transfer within conference. And if you were leaving, like Van Jefferson left Ole Miss and went to Florida, if you were leaving a place that was on a postseason ban, then you could go somewhere within conference and be eligible right away. So there are already some exceptions, but I think in an ideal world that kids ought to be able to go one time, and maybe you say, maybe Swain just say after their first year, after they've been on campus for a year, maybe not let a freshman. I mean, I just think we need to sit down and look at this before you pass a rule, because as you know, man, when you pass a rule like this, you sort of go down a new road. There's always unintended consequences, and you want to think it out as much as you possibly can from all angles.
Oh yeah, and there's going to be people that's going to take advantage of the rules. I mean, I would. Hey, whatever it takes to win. I mean, there's so much pressure on these coaches to win, and so you kind of got to be cutthroat to be able to do that, and you got to have players to win. So hey, be ready for the rules to be twisted and loopholes to be, exposed by coaches. It's going to happen. Remember when Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's head coach, found that loophole about satellite camps. Why? Because he was trying to get even with the competition. The teams in the South were getting all the players, so he started doing satellite camps down here in the South and had his shirt off and things like that, and was trying to get recruits. He tried to take advantage of a loophole, and then it took for conversations to go on and complaints to go on to close it. And whenever you have a rule like that, you better make sure that it's secure, because you're going to have teams that are trying to get the edge will expose loopholes. So you just got to be careful. I asked Cole Kublik this, and I want to ask you the same thing. After 2 weeks in the SEC, who has been the most disappointing team, and who has been, most surprising team or pleasant team, or team that impressed you the most after 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, disappointing, I'd say, in Texas A&M. I thought they'd be better. I mean, they really struggled to beat Vandy in the first week. And, hey, let's give Derek Mason and Vandy some credit. They hung around and did the things they needed to do to be in that football game. And then last week, but, Alabama just blew past them. But, I watched some of that game early. And in the line of scrimmage, Texas A&M held up a little bit better than I thought they would. Alabama's just so explosive. I mean, they're going to blow by a lot of people. But I still would say to this point, Texas A&M would probably be the most disappointing. I know LSU lost to Mississippi State's first game. They came back and won. But I thought LSU was going to drop off. They just lost too many players, Swain. I don't care who you are, man. You lose as many guys as they did to opt out in the pros. You're going to have a little bit of a drop-off. The most impressive is that's Alabama. To me, they're in a class right now by themselves. But you know who, to me, if you said over and above Alabama, who's been the most surprising, and I mean surprising in a good way, is Arkansas. You look at the job Sam Pittman and Barry Odom on defense, Kendall Browse on offense have done there at a school that they just don't stack up personnel-wise to 80% of the league. A school that had lost 20 straight SEC games until they won this past week against Mississippi State and played 3 really good quarters of football against Georgia. We're right in that game. I mean, they to me have been as well coached and as ready to play as anybody in the league when you look at what their personnel is compared to everybody else. So Bama's the best team, and I think that's probably going to bear itself out this season. But going to be a fun, interesting, weird season because you're playing. Remember, you're playing 10 games in the league, and there's going to be a lot of weirdness. We've already seen weirdness, but the most surprising in a good way to me is what Arkansas has done through 2 weeks.
Chris Lowe, ESPN here in the Swain event. His time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. I think for the fans, I think I can speak for the fans here, is that, man, this 10-game SEC schedule is sure entertaining. Everyone around the country is wanting the SEC to go to 9 games, but we understand that would hurt the SEC's chances of getting multiple teams inside the college football playoff because they would just beat up on each other. We're at 8 right now. Have you heard any talk about possibly, moving to 9? Because, after 2 weeks, man, this has been a really, really, really good product for television and for the fans.
Yeah, there's always going to be talk, but it's going to be hard to get, I think, enough people in the league to vote at the end. Because remember, unless rules change, the schools that didn't want it to go to 9 were schools that are always going to be on the cusp as far as going to postseason play. And you have to have a winning record to go to bowl games. If that got changed, maybe. Saban's always been the supporter going to 9.
Well, I wonder why.
He's told me he thinks the league should play 10. Everybody in the league should play, in his words, 10 good games. And I think in an ideal world, he'd like to see 9 SEC games, and then everybody have to play at least one Power 5 team. Maybe Bama plays Penn State, Tennessee plays Oklahoma. And I like that model, honestly. I think that'd be a good one. And he says something else I agree with, and he's not the only one to say this, is when we start talking about scheduling, you know who gets left behind or who gets forgotten about the most, Swain? Are the fans. I mean, you're having to pay a ton of money to go over there to Neyland Stadium, to Bryant-Denny, to Tiger Stadium to watch football in this day and age. It's hard for a guy that makes $50,000 and has a couple kids to justify paying what you have to pay to go watch college football now.
Yeah.
Just for tickets, let alone parking and concessions and anything else. So the fans are the ones that get forgotten about. So if you're going to go there, if I'm going to go there to Neyland Stadium or Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare, I want to see my team play an SEC game or play Oklahoma or Penn State or UCLA or somebody like that. And I think that's the part of this whole equation that people forget about a lot of times.
Chris, you mentioned that Nick Saban is all for playing 10 tough games, and that reminds me of the franchise quarterback who just signed a $100+ million deal, and 85% of it is guaranteed in a year where you're getting ready to strike, and he's like, yeah, I'm prepared to sit out. Yeah, let's tell him. And then you got the guy who is barely on the practice squad who's like, of course you're willing to sit out because you're already secure. You're already paid. You're good. Like, everything's okay in your world. Nick Saban, yeah, he's okay with playing 10 tough games because he has all the talent.
Well, he does, and it's easier to say that when you do. But he's been beating that drum for a long time.
Yeah, because he's had talent for a very long time.
He's
had more talent than everybody for a long time.
And I think more than ever though that schools, and I'm talking about administrations now, are starting to see that playing quality opponents. And I understand there's a lot of factors involved. These teams that you bring into play and you pay them $750,000 or $1 million, their athletic departments depend on that. And Tennessee's always been really good about playing, for the most part, teams in state. Buy games and sort of helping their athletic departments, and there's something to be said for that. But I think for the game, for the Power 5 fans that want to go see quality games, it makes a lot of sense. And again, Saban's not the only one that's has proposed that. There have been others that I've talked to, but you're right. They've got the best players, but I think what he's saying more than anything is, they took some heat. Alabama took some heat. Really, the whole SEC should take some heat. They had that week late November where everybody plays an FCS team, and Alabama played several neutral site games against bigger name teams. Now, a couple of those years, those teams happen not to be very good, but you set those games up in advance. And now Alabama's gone to more home and home, which that's the part of scheduling, Swain, that drives me crazy, man. Is if we ever get away, and I don't think we are. I think we're seeing it move in the other direction now. If we ever get away from home and home series in football, Tennessee going to Oklahoma going to Tennessee, Alabama going to Penn State coming back to Alabama the next year. That is the fabric of college football, man.
Yes.
It is making those trips, fans getting to pour on, Tennessee taking 15,000 fans to, to Norman, Oklahoma. I mean, that's what it's about, man. I hope and pray we never get away from that.
Chris, I think it's safe to say that Alabama, Florida, and Georgia are the three best teams in the conference right now. I know it's early. I know it's 2 games, but is Tennessee the 4th best team in your mind?
Well, I go back to their offensive line, Ben. I think that puts them right there in that conversation. Garantano has played pretty consistently. And I heard Jeremy say this. They still need to play better and more efficiently on defense. They've had some things in the back end that I know he's not pleased with.
Mm-hmm.
But to win on the road, I don't know how good South Carolina is, but to go to your first game in a bit of a sloppy game and find a way to win, that's impressive, but on Tennessee's behalf. And then to really sort of dominate that game Saturday against Missouri, I would think they're in that conversation. And I don't know that we're even going to know, because this year is so different and so weird, and teams haven't had as much time together on the practice field. I don't think we really – I say Alabama's the class of the league, but are we really going to be able to truly assess any of this until we get to Game 6 or Game 7? When we see how injuries play in, what kind of depth people have that maybe we don't know they have. Players that haven't had to play a lot to this point are going to have to play more in Game 7 and Game 8. Depth's going to be at a premium more than ever. And I think with Tennessee, we're going to find that out. But I like the way Chaney's used those running backs and the way he's getting the ball in space. Both Gray and Chandler. I think Tennessee's young receiver talent. I know, Swain, you talked to DJ Shockley. I had him on our show the other night. He also likes Tennessee's young receiving talent. So there's a lot to like about Tennessee's team. We'll see how it plays out and what kind of quality depth they've been able to create as we go forward. But to this point, I think they're certainly in that conversation. And you know what? If they go down and win on Saturday against Georgia, then who's to say they're not right there in the top 2? Based on what we've seen. And as I said at the outset of our conversation, this is probably, I don't care if you're the most rabid Tennessee fan or the most realistic or unrealistic Tennessee fan, this is probably, as you look at this game before the game, you probably feel as good about Tennessee's chances, or at least you feel like, I shouldn't say as good, you feel like they have a chance if they play A football to go in there and win the game.
Let me ask you this, Chris. I'm going to put you on the spot. I personally believe that it's a 4-team race for that 4th best team in the league at this moment. Tennessee, LSU, A&M, Auburn, maybe Mississippi State. I would have said Kentucky 2 weeks ago, but Kentucky has peed down its leg. Its first 2 games of the season. So if you had to put stock into one of the 4 between LSU, Tennessee, A&M, and Auburn long term throughout the course of the season, which school would you pick to put stock in moving forward?
The team with who's got the best depth? You probably know. Who's got the best depth of those 4? Maybe is it LSU? They got a lot of young talent they haven't had to play. I think that would be the one, and that's why I hate to say Tennessee right now, because I want to see some of their guys who haven't had to play a lot to this point, what they look like in Game 6, Game 7, and Game 8. I like the way Tennessee's schedule sets up. I'll say that. I think here's what, Ben, I think the fact that Tennessee beat South Carolina on the road in Game 1 opens the pathway for this team to be potentially a 7-win team. And I'm not predicting they're going to win 7 games, but to me, they had to win that game to have a chance to have a really, really good season. So I think when you look at their schedule, that the grind that we've seen Tennessee have to have in that schedule, where there's like 3 tough games in a row, they don't seem to have that this year. Man, you guys know this. Schedules look a lot different if you get a month and a half into the season and 2 months into the season as they do right now.
For sure. For sure. Chris, man, it's good to have you back in the saddle, man. Back on the show. It's football season, and every week we have good matchups, and there's no different now. Lane Kiffin got himself a big old win over Kentucky.
Hey, and watch Ole Miss too, because they're going to score on everybody.
Yep, they just can't stop anybody.
And no, they can't. They're going to have to win a lot of games, 45-41, 42-38. But I mean, you might see a lot of that this season. I'm telling you, I've covered this league for 25 plus years, and this season is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. I mean, look at Bama. I mean, Bama's got great players on defense, but they've given up some points. I mean, you're going to have to win some games this year, 44-41, 38-35, and that includes teams like Alabama. Florida's given up a lot of points in yards. They certainly did the first week to Ole Miss, but don't rule out. I bet you Lane beats at least one team this year that nobody sees him beating, because they're going to have a game where they roll up 550 yards and score 45 points. It'll be a Big 12 type of win.
Who you think is going to be more successful in their first year, Kiffin or Leach?
I think they'll be right there close to each other. Because I love Mike. Mike's a brilliant guy, and he's scored points and moved the ball on everybody's ever been. But that game Saturday has sort of defined his career. That loss to Arkansas, a lot of really high highs and some lows, and I think you're going to see that this year with that football team. In his defense, this is his first year. Okay, he's got to get the guys in to run his system. But I think you're going to see both of those teams, just like Mississippi State beat LSU the first week. And don't, I mean, I know it's, you say they peed down their leg. Kentucky's a good football team. They're a solid football team. They're strong in the line of scrimmage. They got to find a way to win some games. They're hanging there in the balance. But that was a good win for Ole Miss to go there and win. So I think both of those guys will be pretty close this year when you look at record.
Chris,
and I think getting both of them in the league, here's the thing I would say more than anything. Getting Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin back in the league only makes the league that much stronger, that much more daunting. And here's the caveat, all caveat, that much more interesting.
Yeah. You got to excuse Ben, Chris. Ben was higher on Kentucky than most SEC football fans, and Ben likes to be right. Ben puts a lot of work into his analysis. He really prides himself on doing the work and being right. He wants to be right. Everybody wants to be right. So Ben's not happy with Kentucky right now. He's a little emotional.
Yeah, well, they've lost some games. I mean, there's no way they should lose that game the other day. That was their game. They won that game in the line of scrimmage. Okay, and you had some things happen that you just can't happen. But they're not a bad. I'm telling you, they're not a bad football team. And everybody they play this year. Now, I don't know psychologically what that's going to do to them losing 2 games like that early, but they'll be a tough out for a lot of teams they play this year. And that's Stoops is a good football coach, and but you can say about a lot of teams. This is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a frustrating year for some fans because there's going to be games that you think you're going to win and you don't. And I'm telling you, once we get to game 7, 8, 9, that's when the rubber hits the road because we find out who's got the players who's developed players, and who's got the most depth.
It's gonna be an interesting football season. I like where Tennessee is right now. They got a heck of an opportunity this weekend to kind of prove themselves and validate this winning streak that they've started last year, and hopefully they're able to continue it, man. Cole Cubic said.
I tell you what, Swain. Before I get out of here, if the Vols win Saturday, we'll meet sometime early next week, and I'll buy you, Ben, and all the Swain girls your favorite dessert: pine gap pie, banana pudding, a dead end barbecue. But if Georgia wins, you got to buy me a whole rack of ribs. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to go for my smoked bologna sandwich to rack a rib.
Yeah, that's a bet I'm willing to take because I don't think you can even get anything else besides the smoked bologna. So that's a deal I'm willing to take.
No, I'm gonna branch out, man. I was there yesterday for lunch. How about Dead End Barbecue getting a mention this week on ESPN?
I know, man. Whoever wrote that story is a pretty good dude.
Well,
great writer.
Hey, great restaurant.
Chief, man, back in Knoxville.
How cool is that? Chief giving back to kids. Now, I mean, what do John can be a gruff, stubborn guy. I've known John a long time, but he genuinely loves being out there coaching those kids and giving back. That's cool. I'd love to see that. Love to see the guy who's coached as long as he has at the level he has, just out there volunteering and hadn't missed a practice and coaching 12 and 13-year-olds.
Yeah, that's cool right there, man. Those kids got it good. They get a chance to learn from a coach that's helped produce multiple first-round picks and NFL All-Pros. So that's a really cool story.
How about our boy George Ewart gigging Chief about third Davis? How dare him?
Yeah, only friends can do that to each other. The only friends can say that to Coach Chase.
But Chief got him right back. He said, "Well, it hadn't worked yet. We ought to call it third Ewart."
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh man, that's good stuff right there. All right, Chris, man.
All right, guys. We'll catch up next week.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for the
See
time.
ya.
Chris Lowe, ESPN. His time is brought to you by Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine, PRP, prolotherapy. Just a note about PRP. That is platelet-rich plasma. They take your own platelets from your own blood, and it is used to help heal the muscles and ligaments in your body that's bothering you. So top athletes in the past that have used PRP that have had very successful results include Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, the late, great Kobe Bryant. I've used PRP there at Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. Tore up ankle, banged up knee, and I have experienced relief from PRP. So surgery does not have to be the answer for you. You don't have to go through that. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, their website is trsportsmedicine.com. Big thanks to Chris Lowe.
You know what I wish I would have asked them, you would have asked them, whatever.
What's that?
And we ran out of time, but has the SEC East truly caught up to the SEC West? That has been the topic of conversation around the SEC this week. I've seen several quotes come from Feinbaum's Twitter about it being discussed on his show and kind of stacking up the teams and comparing one another. Has the SEC East caught up to the SEC West?
I say yes.
So
I say yes.
I know you don't like when I do this, when I split hairs or compartmentalize, but to me, I do kind of break it into three different pieces when I kind of evaluate. I think the West has the best team in Alabama, but I think the SEC East top half is better than the West top half. Like, I think Tennessee, Georgia, Florida are better than Alabama, LSU, Auburn, A&M. Like, I think the East 3 is better than the West 4. But then you look at it from top to bottom, I think the West is stronger than the East. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because Vanderbilt, dude. Vanderbilt's that.
Well, not just Vanderbilt. I think the
it's
Mississippi.
Vanderbilt.
I think the Mississippi schools are better than Carolina, Missouri, Vanderbilt. I think Arkansas is better than Missouri and Vanderbilt. I think Arkansas would beat Carolina if they played today.
It's Vanderbilt's fault.
It is Vanderbilt's fault.
Vanderbilt is that one player on the basketball court that can't shoot.
That's true.
You don't even guard him when you got the basketball. And then on defense, whoever that guy's guard, you give him the ball. Here, man, here. Go to work. Clear it out. Clear it out. Vanderbilt's guarding you. Oh, let Vanderbilt shoot. Let him shoot, whatever. It's not even, man. It's not fair. So you have to overcompensate. Like the East, we need like every team in the East to be ranked to compensate for Vanderbilt. It's so terrible. So the bottom half of the West will always be better than the bottom half of the East.
That's true.
Because Vanderbilt.
That is true.
Golly, man. Can't take Vanderbilt anywhere without embarrassing ourselves. Can y'all start winning a little bit, Vanderbilt? Just a little bit, man.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, man.
50 Cent style.
Just a little bit. Big thanks to Chris Lowe today. Big thanks to Cole Kubelik, Austin Price for joining us yesterday. And that's 3. That's 3 for 3. I got one more. I'm going to try to get on the show for tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. The Iris Networks hotline. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here with you on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's going to be a wet one down in Athens, Georgia. Who's going to make the first mistake? I heard this a time or two, but the team who makes the fewest mistakes will win. Who's going to blink? Tennessee, Georgia. Hour 3 coming up. Hour 3 powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, Low T Center is open for normal business hours, including Saturdays. Their goal is to help you be the best and healthiest version of you. And right now, if you are concerned with social distancing, Low T Center can help with at-home treatment options for current patients. And they also have great options for new patients, too. At Low T Center, they make it quick and easy to take care of your health. Most health insurance is accepted. They'll even help verify it for you. And just a reminder, if you're feeling bad, have a fever, or travel to high-risk areas, please stay home. If you'd like to learn more about getting a comprehensive health assessment, be sure to call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388. Or you can schedule an appointment online at lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
Voted Best Barbecue in City View Magazine and a top 100 barbecue restaurant in the country, Dead End is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering and local delivery with Valet Gourmet. That's right, you can have Dead End brought to you. Can't think of the spread for your next event? Get Dead End to cater it. Check them out online, deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Then look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. All of their bottles and tumblers are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the tumbler market. New this year are their stemless 12-ounce tumblers, perfect for repping your team while enjoying your favorite wine. They also have new 3-in-1 jackets to use as a koozie for a can or bottle, or you can pop a lid on it and use it as a 12-ounce tumbler or coffee cup. Be sure to check out everything Game Time Sidekicks has to offer at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Game Time Sidekicks, helping fans show your colors and carry your team with unique gear you will actually use.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Let's get to the phones this morning to start off hour number 3. Iris Networks hotline, reliable, local, high-quality business fiber internet and voice. 90 days, no payment for business internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com. You can call them up at 865-448-4747. Let's get to that first phone caller. That is Rusty. Rusty, good morning, sir.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Rusty.
Hey, man. First off, real quick. I have been out of the loop for the last 24 hours, Zoom calls and catching up on work and whatnot. So I haven't been able to get anything, and I can't find it, but I'm fired up hearing you talk about it. Can you retweet or can Ben retweet the Pruitt hype video you were talking about?
No.
Check my timeline. Check my timeline. You mean the one from Mizzou?
Yeah, you were just talking about the you got my.
Oh yeah. Check my timeline.
The new Pruitt one.
Yeah, check my timeline.
All right, I went through it. I'll look more thoroughly. Jason, when you were in college and you were offered a scholarship, did they say no matter how good of an athlete you are and how well you play, you're guaranteed 4 years at the University of Tennessee on scholarship?
No.
You told you had a scholarship for a year and it'll be renewed at the end of the year if we choose to do so.
Correct. I didn't know that scholarships were an annual deal. I didn't know that until I got here. But I wasn't concerned, but I didn't know that. But no, it was not guaranteed that I was going to be on scholarship 4 years.
So I guess what I'm getting at is if the school isn't binded to you for the second year, you shouldn't be binded to them. At least one time, you should be allowed to leave, just like they don't have to honor. Now, my argument would be if the school wants to recruit you and guarantee you 4 years of scholarship, you can't leave because you signed on the dotted line. You're there for 4 years, and they signed on the dotted line. They're going to honor that for 4 years, no matter how good or bad you are once you get on campus as a player. So, isn't the goose and the gander, that whole deal, the way it should be there? If I'm not under contract to the University of Tennessee for 4 years and they're under contract to me and they can get rid of me, I can get rid of them, right?
Yeah, I see where you're going. I'm cautioning you to be careful because there's going to be a point when Tennessee is at the next level as far as recruiting, and you're going to have players that want to leave because they're not playing, and you have to ask yourself, do you want them to go play for a rival and play against you the following year? Do you want to make it super easy for them?
Yes, because I'm trying to be objective and not look at it through orange-colored glasses where I'm taking my interest and saying, I don't want Tennessee to lose Bryce Thompson. I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to say I'm not looking at it from what I want. I'm looking at it for what's fair to the student-athlete.
Do you want schools actively recruiting your players in season? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. That should be off limits. It should be like tampering in professional sports.
That's what's going to happen.
If the kid has decided to leave and wants to go elsewhere, he can contact schools to see if they have interest. But the schools should not go calling Bryce Thompson, who's just fine and dandy at the University of Tennessee, or go contacting Kyle Trask, who's perfectly happy at Florida. That should be off limits. If the kid has decided to leave and he's already made it clear he's transferring, then he can contact the schools and there can be a dialogue. Before then, absolutely not.
But that's going to happen. We come on now. We know that unless you have unless you have a Aaron Kraft snitch. So
it should be just like it should be just like a recruiting violation. If you violate the rule that you can't go contact other teams' players, that's a violation of some sort where your team can get put on probation. Just like in the NFL, your organization can get fined if you go tampering and trying to talk to Russell Wilson if you're the LA Rams during the middle of the season. It shouldn't be that hard to put a set of rules in. Will there be some underhanded stuff? Yeah. Is there going to be money paid to kids who are being recruited out of high school? Yeah. What do we do about it? We try to keep up with it, but there's always going to be loopholes.
Rusty, tell me this: when's the last time you heard a recruit say, "Man, I just could not talk to a coach. I was unable to communicate with the coach because, it's coach's no contact period right now." The reason why you don't hear that is because there's ways to get around the rule. The coach may not be able to call a recruit, but guess what the coach can do? The coach can call the high school coach and tell the high school coach to tell the recruit to call me back. And so you just have to be aware of the potential loopholes that will be attempted to be exploited. You just got to be ready for it.
I know they will be. I guess I go back to just because some coaches lack integrity and will be underhanded and do the wrong thing doesn't mean I want to punish the student athletes who should have the same rights that the university does to not honor a scholarship at the end of a year.
I'm all for a one-time transfer. I really am. I'm just worried about the recruitment of players while they're currently playing.
Like I said, we can't punish the kids because some coaches lack integrity.
To be successful in the SEC, there's things you got to do to win. You gotta get your hands dirty. So,
do you believe for a second Jeremy Pruitt is a coach that lacks integrity and would call Kyle Trask during the middle of the year?
I believe any coach in the SEC who is paid a lot of money that has to win, and you need players to win, the moment he understands that this player is unhappy and he knew that he had an opportunity to get that player out of high school and he came in a second, I guarantee you that most coaches in this league, if not all, will find some way to indirectly make contact.
Then I'm with you. Make the punishment severe for doing it. Make the punishment severe for doing it. Like loss of being able to coach in the SEC if you're caught doing it. That player can never have college eligibility again if he's caught cooperating with said coach and that type of thing. You make the punishment so scary that nobody wants to do it. It's not that hard. There's a reason why, murder don't happen a whole lot. Or happen a whole lot by normal ethical people. Because you go to jail for 25 years to life when you get caught for it. Make the punishment bad.
Yeah, I understand that.
That might also be a way to stop players from being paid coming out of high school too. Is if the punishments were a little more severe.
Rusty, come on now. You know that ain't
Let me ask you this: the University of North Carolina, with all their cheating they did with the whatever, we know some players have been paid. What happened at SMU deterred SMU from ever cheating again, and it killed their program. If you do that to a couple of the big boys, the cheating will stop.
That's not going to happen, Rusty.
Yeah, well, that's probably why murder is still going to happen, because we're not executing people at the rate we should be.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, and I understand what you're trying to say. Like, hey, you're trying to look at this thing objectively and let the players go if they want to go. I get that, but if you just allow guys just one time, you can go wherever you want. There's no rules. There's no hoops. There's nothing. Just go ahead and go. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a zoo. It's going to be a circus. I'm telling you right now, there will be recruitment of other players while they're playing. It's going to happen. And the league just needs to ask themselves, Are they prepared for that? There's not going to be a team in football, a big-time program, that's going to get slammed like USC. It's not going to happen anymore. Ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. That'll be the last big time. A big-time school gets hit like that. Ain't going to happen. Unless you just totally out there and stupid. But we've seen some pretty stupid things on social media over the last couple of years too. Like, really, kid, you gonna put that on there? And nothing's happened. So, sounds good in theory, but you just better make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted if you're the SEC, because you know how cutthroat this league is. All right, let's go back to the phones this morning. I appreciate the phone call, Rusty. I do. D.R. Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. That was kind of a dark closing remark on that caller. Are we still doing What You Want Wednesday?
No, because it's not us. It's Facebook, and they want to flag everything. So that's why you hear the same basic, boring instrumentals, because Facebook likes to put a copyright on everything, and then on Facebook, the Swain event video gets blocked out or unable to post.
Yeah, I guess I need to put like a disclaimer, like, hey, this any music played on the Swain event.
I know people that put music on my Facebook, they always put, I do not own the rights to this music, and they seem to get away with it.
Yeah, maybe we'll try that and see how it works out. I just
we don't want to be banned by Facebook or YouTube. That would not be good for us.
No, yeah. So I'm just playing it safe. That's why.
What do you want for What You Want Wednesday, D.R. Vol?
Well, Ben, you may remember this. I know Swain will. But last night on the way home, my kids are wanting me to play some music. And I said, let's bring it back 90s style. I would like to hear, I don't know if it's Whoop or Whoop or whatever. There it is by Tag Team.
Whoop, that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that would get flagged.
I thought you were gonna say Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle. I was expecting you to say that.
No. I was suggesting songs I like, not songs Ben likes.
Or Oops, I Did It Again from Britney Spears. I thought you were gonna say that.
No, I want good music. Guys, I'm gonna ask a very stupid question, and Ben, this may be a good. What's up?
Shocker.
Well, I mean, I know that anything that's not relating to Kentucky is stupid in your eyes, but this is a Tennessee question, so Swain may want to answer this. But, Ben, I mean, this may be a good article idea. Is it dumb to ask, do we have the better quarterback Saturday?
No.
No, it's not a dumb question, or no, we don't have a better quarterback?
No, it's not a dumb question.
It's not a dumb question.
I think Tennessee has the more talented quarterback, the more experienced quarterback, but will he prove to be the better quarterback is a different question. Stetson Bennett does not have the arm talent that Jarrett Garantano has, and he made his first career start last weekend. He does not have the experience that JG has either, which I think kind of is a good thing for Stetson Bennett, because JG's experience isn't all that great.
I know one thing. I'm damn tired of some new name popping up like Kyle Trask or some other quarterback and, proving to be better. I just, Kyle Trask did that. We've seen other quarterbacks around the league kind of show up and be more consistent than JG. I don't want to see that. I really want to see JG prove to be a better quarterback in this matchup, and JG has to understand, and I'm pretty sure he does it. He does understand. We need to understand that Stetson Bennett has to do less than JG for his team to win, and JG has to do more for his team to win. So, watch the play of the two guys rather than the stats. But JG's not going to be able just to hand the football off and have a top defense in the country, make it ugly and all those things. JG's going to have to play well for Tennessee to win. So I don't think it's a stupid question. I just think it may be a little unfair just because Stetson's only played 2 games and, JG is he's entering his 17th season as a Tennessee quarterback.
That's why I hesitated to ask, because you're right. Like, JG's got to play consistent and great, whereas that polo player, whatever, Stetson Benedict or whatever, he's just got to play mediocre. So that's where, like, I can see where some people think that's a dumb question. But, I mean, like Ben said, athletically, I do think JG, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I do think he's way more athletic.
Dual threat, baby.
That's right, number one.
Stetson Bennett, is it hurdling players and then knocking out All-American linebackers out of the game?
Yeah. I didn't catch that when I was watching that game live, but when I went back and rewatched it, I noticed he did do that. I mean, hey, if we know anything after watching Michael Vick, dual threat quarterbacks can handle dogs, can't they?
Just 2 calls of just darkness. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? I like your new tattoo, man.
My new tattoo.
Yeah, you got a new tattoo with some invisible ink.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I evidently a lot of people got the same tattoo.
Oh man, some next level
guys,
trolling
I'm
there.
about to make a video because I'm wanting to join Ray UGA's fan club. He's got this afternoon. I think I'm going to make a little troll video for him.
All right, man. Please do it. I can't wait to see it.
All right, guys. You have a good day.
All right, you too. See you. Oh boy, he ain't right. All right, let's get to the phones this morning. Let's continue to get to the phones. Let's go to Turkey Man on line 3. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, brother. You're speaking truth this morning. More than normal, with you always speak the truth. But
Which part?
You're laying it down there this morning.
Which part? Which part?
Well, this deal about being able to transfer inside the conference. There's a reason. You did a good example of it when you said about Harbaugh and the camps, and he come down. Where did he go? He come down south.
That's right.
In amongst the Southeastern Conference to do his camp because it was legal for him to do that. But the SEC had said you can't do that, and he come down there for a reason. The talent is in the Southeastern Conference direction.
In the South period.
Texas, you got Texas. You go to Texas, all the way to Florida, and that is the area where the athletes hang out. And so that being said, that's why that all the athletes, when they want to go play, they want to play in Southeastern Conference. And you even hear that the reason somebody goes to Vanderbilt because they're in the Southeastern Conference because that's where they want to play at. And you're telling the truth here. If we don't as a Southeastern Conference, if we don't say, okay, you can transfer anywhere, but you can't do it inside the conference. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen this example used, but you ought to try this sometime if you haven't. And there's a lot of situations that goes with a tube of toothpaste situation. Have you ever heard that? You take a tube of toothpaste and you squirt all the toothpaste out on a paper plate or plate and say, now try to put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you make a move, you better make sure that you don't need to put it back in the tube.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is very true. Because right now we hold the cards as far as athletes, and we don't. You know, I'm excited to see how this plays out with JG. I really am, because he hadn't been warm and fuzzy for me. I'm excited to see how it plays out for him. But on the other hand, if we have, talented quarterbacks over other week because of COVID or whatever reason we haven't seen, do we want this one time within the conference someone being able to transfer to Florida or to Georgia or to Missouri or somewhere like that we have to play against? I know all of us, I felt this way, but we've seen what Peterson did at Florida. And, he was a good practice player, and then he went to Johnny Major's university up there where he won the national championship, Pitt. He went up there, and he looked lights out. Well, and then he got drafted. But I'm thinking, boy, I'm glad he wasn't in the conference. We've seen the same thing happen at Memphis when Ferguson, he left, but he went to Memphis and played lights out there. I was thinking, I'm glad we didn't have to deal with him inside the conference. That was my input on that. I think we better be real careful.
You mean the Peterman, Nathan Peterman?
Yeah, Peterman. Did I not say Peterman?
You said Peterson.
What did I say, Peterson?
Yeah, I thought you said Peterson.
I may have. I meant
the
well,
Peterman.
You know what I meant, anyhow. You know what I meant.
Yeah, Peterman.
Yeah, well, I was using those two examples because we had them as quarterback. They had good careers. I just was tickled that it wasn't inside the conference where we had to deal with them, and I think it has a lot. We better be very, very careful what we wish for. And I thought about this on Cape May deal. I thought, well, it was a different scenario. I thought you could make advantage, for this because we're in a pandemic.
For sure.
That scenario, but not make it. This is our rule from now on, and that's why I think the SEC, powers to be, didn't want to make it a crack, so it would be a rule from now on. So it's like the tube of toothpaste. You squirt her out. You can't put her back in the tube. Love you guys.
All right, Turkey man. Thanks for the phone call. I'm all for letting players transfer where they want to go. I mean, I'm not saying don't let them transfer to where they want to go for one time. All I'm saying is you need to think about what's going to happen with that, and be prepared for. I know one thing, man. I better not get banned from YouTube for Kids Bop. I'm gonna be mad, man.
Here you go, DR Vol. Here is a whoop. There it is, Kids Bop version.
Man, DR Vol, if you get me in trouble over Kids Bop, I'm gonna be upset.
I already know DR Vol was jamming out the Kids Bop in his car. And what's sad is he used his kids as an excuse to listen to Kids Bop. Look, if you like Kids Bop, we're not going to judge you.
Did he say Kids Bop or just the song Whoop That Is?
He said just a song, but I know that he was listening to the Kids Bop version, so I just wanted to make him feel really at home.
Yeah, I don't know the real version. I don't know if the real version is kid-friendly or not. I'm probably assuming that it's not. I think it might be okay.
I just like to listen to I just like to imagine DR Vol listening to Kids Bop in his car by himself.
Oh, he definitely does. Swain event, be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Jason Swain here. If you're feeling tired and grumpy, it could be low T or something else like sleep apnea. Low T Center now provides an easy and convenient home sleep test shipped to your home in little as 2 days and receive a CPAP device in little as 4 days. It's never been faster or easier to get tested, and most health insurance is accepted. Now is a great time to take care of yourself while you're being quarantined without sports. To order your sleep test online, just go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
All right, let's get to Vol Storm here on the Iris Networks hotline. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Your headquarters for low energy, low libido, mental clarity not where it needs to be. Low T Center, that is where you go. Right now, Low T Center has an amazing option for you to self-treat at home in the comfort of your four walls of your dwelling. And right now, Low T Center is offering self-injection home hormone therapy. So lowtcenter.com is a website. The number here in Knoxville, 865-392-1388. Multiple locations around Tennessee. Go to the website, find the nearest location, make an appointment today. Low T Center right now, man. New approach to men's health care, conquering low testosterone levels and sleep apnea. Let's get to Volstorm. Volstorm, good morning.
You think Kids Bop has any Lil Jon songs?
Yes.
Yeah.
From the window to the wall.
The sweat is in the halls. It's Kid Bop verse.
Oh, we got a Kids Bop version.
That's what I was thinking of too.
We have a turn down for what?
When the sweat drip in the halls, all the kids fall. Anybody got a mop? Clean up the sweat. That's what they
You imagine D.R. Ball running around listening to that stuff all the time?
Yes, I can.
I guess Wheels on the Bus gets old.
Hey man, he got kids, man. You got to give him grace.
I think that's actually what he listens to while he is working out at the gym is Kids Bop Get Low by Lil Jon.
He gets grace.
Oh my goodness. Swain, I'm surprised you let old Chris Lowe off easy today.
We working into the segment. It's first day.
The reason I ask is you should have asked him about the fact that Lane Kiffin came out and made the statement about, it's awful interesting that Alabama didn't have any players opt out, doesn't have any COVID cases. You should have asked him about that with his little Debbie buddy.
Nah, I first day, man. First day. I'll ask him next week about that.
I mean, if anybody knows about the little ins and outs of what goes on at Bama, it's got to be Kiffin.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Chris knows. He knows everything, man.
Oh, my goodness. So, I don't know.
What?
I'm still stuck on that stupid Kids Pop thing.
I flustered you.
Well, you flustered me because you had the nerve to call me a boomer for making fun of it, but you're the one worried about the Facebook Live crowd.
I'm not worried about it. I am worried about it, but I'm worried about it because Swain's worried about it. Swain's worries are my worries.
Hey man, I ain't trying to get banned. That's all.
You got YouTube, and some of you people just need to go ahead and download the app. That's all you need. Get down and dirty.
Hey, I think that's a good idea, man.
Speaking of which, where is it?
I just got an email this morning, man. About an hour ago. It's been submitted. It will be live on the App Store in 1 to 2 days. So that's where we are, man.
Oh,
yeah.
So we'll have it by Georgia.
We should have about Georgia. Trust me, I've been waiting on it, man. I've been waiting on it.
If only you could have gotten the greatest in-game coaching defensive mind to push it through for you.
I think he's busy preparing for the biggest game of his coaching career.
To this point.
You think this is the biggest game of his career?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's the next game. Isn't that what the coach speak would say?
Man, it's an opportunity, man. It's an opportunity to throw the cornbread on the table.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think the thing I'm most worried about in this is, yes, Georgia has a brand new QB in that position, but are we going to be able to get a pass rush? Is our secondary going to be able to put up enough, have good enough coverage to where we can get a pass rush? Is our linebackers going to wake up? I mean, I'm a little more worried about the defense in this game than the offense.
You'll have to ask Brady. He has those answers. I think the secondary will be better. They obviously need to work in unison with the pass rush. We don't need Tennessee's defensive line and front seven in general not generating any pass rush and leaving them out on an island. But I do think there's truly something to be said for Tennessee's secondary being back to 100% healthy, or as close to 100% healthy as you can get with Sean Schamberger expected back at nickel, and then Bryce Thompson back at corner, back in his normal spot, and Jalen McCullough maybe is a little healthier than when he was banged up over the last 2 weeks, and you have your starting five that you envisioned on paper. I think there's something to be said for that. But like I just said, you need the front seven to step up and work in unison with the secondary. You can't leave them on an island for 5 seconds.
Was it me, or it seemed like Tennessee was able to get more pressure when they kind of spaced those linemen out, where you had the ends coming in from like an angle as opposed to straight on? It looked like they spaced out the defensive linemen a little better, and that's when we were getting pressure on Missouri's quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. To be honest, Ballstorm, didn't notice it in one bit. And I'm more offensive minded when I'm watching film, because I understand most of our callers, tend to focus on the offense. So I try to go and watch that to be able to answer a lot of the questions. But I did not notice that tidbit about our linemen on defense.
Well, you boys are just full of energy today, aren't you?
Man, it's Rusty's fault. I was hyped up.
It's like when you get on the phone with your mama and you start talking, and then she's like, you finally go, Mama, What are you doing? Because I know you ain't paying attention to me.
Man, I'm even keel, man. What you want me to do, man? It's Wednesday. I got 2 more days before the game. I don't want to, blow it all out. Not have anything left for the game. Vol Storm.
Truly, being a Tennessee fan is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Say that again. You cut out a little bit.
I said, being a Tennessee fan is truly a marathon and not a sprint.
It is certainly a marathon.
We have learned that.
Best comment of the phone call.
Don't take the cup off. Ever.
Guys, before I go, I'm getting a little tired of all these up-and-coming quarterbacks coming in and being mentioned over JG. But, of course, JG's been there for 10 years, so what do you expect? See you, man!
It's been there a long time, man.
Y'all ready for year number 11 next year?
And there's going to be another one after this year, so get ready.
Year number 11 in 2021.
I can't wait to see how he looks in his 3rd year in the Jim Chaney. Woo! Going to be even better. Going to be even better. Ain't no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, who's next?
Billy.
Billy, good morning.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Billy? Good morning, sir.
Hey, man, I've been kind of listening. I went back and looked at the football game from Saturday, which there's a lot of things you can't see in person that you can see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and looked at every offensive snap that Missouri had. We changed the line of scrimmage on the defensive line every time. Even the times that they ran the football well, our defensive linemen were just one step, just squeezing the gap a little better to stopping those runs. I believe if our defensive line plays well this Saturday, if they can find that in them to slip a block a little sooner, to get a hand on a running back, we're going to play well on Saturday. I don't know that we ever had a legitimate chance to get a pass rush on Saturday because the kid got the ball out of his hand pretty quick. There was only a few times where he actually dropped back and held the football for any amount of time. So I don't know if it's fair to say we didn't get a very good pass rush. And our offensive linemen, if they just hold their blocks another second, some of these runs where, and don't take anything away from Missouri's linebacker, that kid's good. He is really good. He made a lot of tackles on Saturday out of position, or we just couldn't get to him because he's that good. I think we're going to do well. Just hold our blocks a little bit more, make a few more plays on the defensive line. I think the back end of the defense will be fine.
All right. Well, hey, I certainly hope you're right, my friend. I really do. Do you feel confident in saying that if Tennessee's defensive line plays the same way they play against Mizzou, that they'll have success on Saturday?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you feel like they definitely need to play better?
They have got to get in their gaps and make tackles at the line of scrimmage. We've got to change the line of scrimmage or stalemate, and we've got to get in the gaps and make tackles on the running back. They can't. Georgia's backs are too good. Their offensive line's too good, and we can't have them running downhill at our linebackers. We just can't. I mean, you're asking a whole lot of a linebacker to have guys. You look at some of the plays that we made on Saturday where our linebackers made tackles. Our defensive lineman, our interior defensive lineman, was making them bounce to another gap. They weren't running where they wanted to. They were bouncing to another gap, and then we make a play. Toa made a play on the goal line down there on Roundtree where and that was exactly what happened. They made him bounce. When they made him bounce outside, Toa was able to get there. Mm-hmm. We can't have these guys, run and then A gap, B gap, downhill at our linebackers and expect to have any success on Saturday. So our defensive tackles have got to get in the gaps. They got to make tackles.
I agree, my
that's
friend.
That'll be the difference in the football game. I think our defensive line against their offensive line and our offensive line against their defensive line. Can we generate enough run to make something happen? We hold our blocks. I think our linemen are as good as we've seen in a long time. So I'm not ready to say we can play the same as we played, but I'm telling you, if our guys can find it in them and play a little harder on Saturday, get in the gaps and make tackles, we're going to do well Saturday. We'll be in it when it counts.
I appreciate the phone call, man. Nice call. We've said, listen, it's going to come down to which quarterback's going to make a mistake. Cole Kubick said it yesterday on the program. And part of forcing the quarterback to make a mistake is getting pressure on him without blitzing. Because if you send the house and you force him to throw it, but there's no one around it to intercept it, the ball hits the ground. It's just an incomplete pass. But when you put pressure on him and he has to force it up, and he's a little bit inaccurate, there's more shirts of the opposite color that can pick the ball off. And that's what happened in the South Carolina game. You had more guys around that tip ball because you had DeAndre Johnson and those boys getting to the quarterback and creating pressure. So who's going to be able to do that? Can Tennessee do that? I expect Georgia to be able to do that. But how consistently will Tennessee be able to create pressure without sending Schamberger, without sending a corner blitz, without sending stunts up the middle? That's going to be key. Very, very key. 865-255-03, our telephone number. Iris Networks hotline, hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Swain event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm going to tell you a quick story about a listing appointment I had recently. I walked in the door of this beautiful home, and my eyes didn't immediately notice the nice hardwood floors, the beautiful fireplace, or the large kitchen. Nope. What my eyes noticed was the large amount of Michael Jackson memorabilia in almost every room. While I appreciate MJ, the sellers needed my assistance in looking at the home through buyer's eyes. Whether it's MJ or some Vandy memorabilia decorating your walls, I'll guide you through the process to get your home ready to sell. Call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Hiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. I was sitting here thinking about Rusty's phone call. Not the example he was given, not that, but just about his idea to try to enforce rules and make rules and be strict and hammer down on folks that break the rules. And I got a text from someone listening down in the ATL.
Kirby Smart?
Nah, it wasn't Kirby. No, it wasn't Kirby.
Jeff Collins.
No, it wasn't those two. The text there, remind Rusty that your boy Will Wade is still employed at LSU. I mean, there's a recording of you talking about a big ass offer, and you still coaching. Listen, nobody's getting in trouble. Kansas still has Bill Self. Nothing's gonna happen to Duke. Coach K's still the coach. What you've had is the small guys, the assistants. They've gotten hammered, but there's not one head coach that's been fired in basketball at a big time program, and all the scandals that have gone on. If somebody gets in trouble, they may add on another 10 years of Nintendo before they fire a big time coach at a big time school. That's not gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I'm telling you, man. Nobody at the big schools gonna get in trouble. It's not gonna happen
unless you coach at Tennessee. But I assume that you're talking strictly about the FBI situation.
I mean, you got audio. You haven't done anything yet, NCAA. So what makes us think that any type of rule enforcement is going to take place if players are able to have a one-time transfer and transfer outside the conference? Yo, I'm telling you, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And there's going to be times when we're kicking other folks in the cup and we're taking other people's players, and yay, it's good. And there's going to be times when we're going to be taking some kicks in the cup. That's what it's going to be like. And hopefully, out of 10 times, you're doing the kicking 8 to 7. That's what you hope. That's what you hope. But when you have a coach like Jeremy Pruitt, who is pretty freaking honest, for the most part, down to earth, I think he'll be in a better position more than other coaches that uses a lot of trickery in recruiting. See how it plays out, though.
Man, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but this weekend is so big for Tennessee in recruiting on so many different levels. The result of Saturday's game won't, I'm talking win or loss, won't 100% determine whether or not Tennessee gets the recruits that I am about to mention. But a poor showing, getting embarrassed, will absolutely sway the recruits that I'm going to mention. And then, hanging tough and having a chance to win in the fourth quarter and having a good showing could really sway Tennessee in the correct direction with Amarius Mims. He'll be in town. We talked about him yesterday. Don't really need to dive in any further. He announces next Wednesday at his high school, I believe 3:30. He's also not going to be telling the schools ahead of time who he is picking. He's not going to inform the school ahead of time, from my understanding, which should be interesting to see how that plays out. So Amarius Mims is one. You have Smile Munden, obviously in the Georgia area. You have Nyland Green, who it looks like that's a Tennessee-Georgia battle. And Amarius Mims, Nyland Green, Smile Munden, they all spoke with 247 and alluded to the fact that win or loss isn't going to determine one way or the other who they decide to go with, but an embarrassing loss or Tennessee hanging in tough could definitely sway them one way or the other. They want to see progress from Tennessee. They want to see progress. They want to see it. They want to see the proof in the pudding rather than what is being told to them. They like what is being told to them, but they want to see it play out and it not be just a hope and a dream that Tennessee is selling them. They want to see it come to fruition. So Tennessee has a great opportunity. And then Terrion Ingram-Dawkins, Tennessee's top remaining defensive line target, he is going to be in attendance this weekend at the Tennessee-Georgia game with his family. So 4 huge recruits still remaining on Tennessee's board. This game could really have a big impact on recruiting.
This is the most important week of Jeremy Pruitt's coaching tenure, man. You got 2 All-American high school players that will be trench players for you. This is you taking another step with your program, and you have an opportunity to beat a top 5 team and really sway them to you. Now, I don't know if the win will confirm to those players that it's the place they need to be for their individual goals because, listen, Pruitt is going to develop guys for the next level. Just because the team is winning doesn't mean that's the place for you, but it sure is helpful that you can create some momentum and get some players interested in your program or even commit to your program because they're caught up in the excitement. This is a big week for Coach Pruitt, big opportunity. Let's get to the phones before we wrap up today's show. And who's that, Billy?
Buck Nasty.
Buck Nasty. Sorry, Buck Nasty. Good morning, sir.
What's going on, Swain?
What's up?
Oh, I was calling in with a question for you this morning.
All right.
Hey, when I watch our defense play, I see one glaring weakness, and it's one of our linebackers in pass coverage. And he continues to get the start. What are they seeing that I'm not? What are the coaches seeing that I'm not? Because when Banks is on the field, he seems to be a whole lot better minus the 2 boneheaded plays in South Carolina. Well, what am I missing, Swain?
Well, what you're missing is the other things that Crouch probably does better than Banks. Makes up for maybe a little bit of advantage in Banks' way as far as coverage from your point of view. You still there? No, he didn't like that.
He said, "Forget you, Swain. I'm done with you for the day. I'll talk to you tomorrow."
I'm out of here.
I think the linebackers in general have struggled in coverage to start the season. Quavaris Crouch more so than the other 2, but there have been times when Henry To'oTo'o did not look good in coverage. There's been times when Banks did not look great in coverage either. So I think it's important to remember that Crouch and Banks are not only young, but they're also fairly new to the position, the inside linebacker position. Crouch didn't play it in high school.
Nope.
Played outside backer last year. Outside backer is a much simpler position to play than inside backer. Way more responsibility on Crouch right now than he had last year on the edge. And then Banks, he played running back in high school and then kind of flip-flopped his true freshman season in 2018. And then last year he was not with the team, so his development got set back. So I still think it's early. Obviously they're not as far along as we would want them to be, but I still have high hopes for both of them. It's just a matter of when does the light bulb flip on.
I think they'll be fine. They'll take their lumps. I mean, if that's the biggest lump that that fourth down play that Missouri completed on us with the tight end, if that's the biggest lump that we take in passing coverage, and that's good. But you're gonna take your lumps anytime you're playing someone new at that position. So I'm not expecting these guys to be, Roquan Smith right now. I think they will develop into that type of player. What we hope is that when you do take your lumps, it's not at the critical moment of the game that gets you beat. You want to be able to have these moments and teach on it during the win. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. And so maybe this is the week that Georgia decides to use Darnell Washington a little bit more. Now, I think step for step, Darnell Washington's not going to outrun anybody. But in the red zone, listen, you may need to get a ladder to guard that dude.
He'll out-physical you.
Because he's big.
Georgia has 3 or 4 tight ends that it can run at Tennessee. Georgia's tight ends have been surprisingly more productive than their preseason expectations with John Fitzpatrick, Darnell Washington. They have another cat, and then they're getting Trey McKitty, the Florida State grad transfer that we talked about earlier in the show. He'll be back from injury. So they'll run 3 or 4 different tight ends at Tennessee. And Crouch and Banks, they're going to have to be ready to play.
They'll be ready. They'll be ready to go, man. Big game. Big-time players make statements in these type of games. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great day. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Peace and love. We are out.